Salute, salute, salute. Wow. What's happening? What it is, what it do. Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Real quick video, then I'm getting out the way. You know, I'm still kind of knocking the rest off, getting back into a groove. So I wanted to talk about my first thoughts when it comes to Saul Canelo Alvarez fighting against Jermell Charlo. You know, a fight that kind of came out of nowhere, but I still feel like it's not getting a lot of traction. But this is a fight that's actually happening, and people talking past the fight for the most part, going into fantasies, talking about fights that ain't on the agenda, on the itinerary. And I say, let's focus on this fight. This is a huge fight for both fighters. Canelo has been getting criticized lately for being on somewhat of a downslide in his last performance against an older Triple G. Not you know, really finishing that trilogy the way some of us wanted him to, even though Triple G, granite chin, you know, hard to defeat, hard to conquer and knock down and knock out, but we wanted to see Canelo take that fight to that level, and then to see him fight against John Ryder in another performance that was somewhat lackluster. You know, some people think Canelo was slipping. He said he had some injuries. He's 100% now. He can throw his shots with full power. And you're going to see a new version or vintage version. You're going to see the same version of Canelo that took care of Caleb Plant and Caleb Smith and Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo, he's been out the ring for a while. He was going to fight Tim Tszyu, had a hand injury, and that fight got postponed. So Tim Tszyu went to fight Tony Harrison, and I think he just recently knocked out Ocampo, right? But when I look at Jermell Charlo's journey to become undisputed, I still feel like he's not being, you know, rated the way he should be rated. I feel like people still underrate or overlook the fact that he's undisputed in his journey to become undisputed was a great, you know, to see him fight Tony Harrison and come up short, and then to have to wait. Tony Harrison had a little injury. He had to fight Jorge Cota. He knocked Jorge Cota out, got his rematch against Tony Harrison, knocked out Tony Harrison after a ebbs and flow type of a fight. Then he went and fought the banana, Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario took his belt off of Julius J-Rock Williams, who took his belt off of Swift Jarrett Hurd. You know, all these tough competitors rumbling it up. And then you got Jermell Charlo fighting Jason Rosario. I'm thinking it's going to be a tough scrap. And he hits him with a body shot and had him on the ground, you know, pulsating, convulsing. So you go from there to fighting Brian Castaño, having a tough fight, ended in a draw, controversial draw, and then to rematch him and get a knockout. So he was in his, to me, in his lane, he was really turning himself into somewhat of a king, a lion that just didn't have no adversaries until Tim Tszyu kind of came out of nowhere. And it was like, not out of nowhere, but, you know, it seemed like Tim Tszyu was riding on the, you know, coattails of his father's name, Costa Tszyu. But Tim Tszyu turns out to be the real deal, unbeknownst to me. Had to wait and see, and slowly but surely, he knocking out guys, fast hands, got power, got a lot of charisma. You know, got a great backstory for the people that know it, and they tell me some of the things that I'd be like, oh man, this dude sound like he pretty tough and stand up. But he not getting his shot at Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo is going to fight Canelo. And we know Canelo didn't fought everybody. Mayweather, Shane Mosley, Cotto, Ricky Haddon, Trout, Islar Elanda. He didn't fought Caleb Smith, Caleb Plant, Caleb Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, John Ryder. He got a long list of names and guys he's defeated and conquered. He lost to Bivol, beat Sergey Kovalev, beat Daniel Jacobs. When I look at all the fighters between the two of these guys, I see a lot of championship fights, in my opinion. Undisputed versus undisputed. I don't like that it's two weight classes. I don't like that Jermell Charlo's been out of the ring for so long. But their age is similar. Their size is similar, even though Jermell Charlo walking around weight is heavy. But that's key word, definition. Walk around weight, not fight weight, not jog weight, not, getting active weight, but walking around. He a big dude, but we gonna see what he bring. I'm concerned with Derek James been preoccupied, so I think he's been working with Guzman. But I seen him doing some strength and conditioning for his hand. It looked like to me he might even still have some lingering effects of a hand injury. But Canelo, no fighter goes into the fight 100%. Canelo said he has surgery. He feel like he back to being 100%. And he promised to be a rejuvenated version of himself when he was breaking eye sockets of Billy Joe Saunders and knocking the bicep off the bone of Caleb Smith. And when he was, cutting off the ring and knocking out Caleb Plant. So it's going to be a tough fight for Jermell Charlo. I feel like the tables get turned on him. I feel like he used to being a hunter in the ring, the guy with the power, trying to chase guys down. Sometimes he is on his back foot. He was on his back foot a lot against Brian Castaño. But usually I feel like he is the type of fighter that is the hunter, the stalker. But now we know Canelo probably is going to have a power advantage, and he's going to be the guy that's walking you down, hitting you with power shots, and he has to land a perfect shot, and you have to be a perfect fighter for the whole 12 rounds. So it's an interesting fight. Canelo is deceitful as far as his speed. People say he's flat-footed, which he is, but he manages to cut off the ring and hit you with good shots unexpectedly. And it's deceitful, in my opinion, that he can close the gap and collapse the pocket and hit you with hard shots and wear you down over time. And I've seen Jermell Charlo sometimes in the first fight, detour off a game plan or lose focus. And the second time out on a rematch, if he fought Canelo twice, I'd be like, I got Jermell Charlo all the way, because his record shows in rematches he improves. But Canelo in rematches improves as well. So my initial thoughts of this fight was, it's a hell of a fight between two great champions. Jermell Charlo is obviously the underdog, and I feel like 100% support for me goes behind Jermell Charlo to have the best performance of his lifetime. He said he's showing up to win, not just to come in and get caught up in the whole I'm fighting Canelo, I'm starstruck, and all of that. I'm glad to be here type mentality. But I hope he's really focused, like 100% focused, and he can shock the world, And I don't see what's the big deal if he does win against Canelo, because Bivol won against Canelo. I still don't hear a lot of people talking about Dimitri Bivol like he's just a huge star to face of boxing and a cash cow. It can be done. Canelo is not like superhuman. You know what I'm saying? He got beat by Mayweather, of course. Some people thought he lost to Islari Landa, But at the end of the day, Canelo is formidable, dangerous, and he's Saul Canelo Alvarez. He got a lot of power, and he got a lot of ring IQ and a lot of experience. And Jermell Charlo has experience as well. But I see some concerns, cause for concern, right now when it comes for Jermell Charlo being out the ring, going up 2 weight classes, fighting a different style, and other things I will divulge into later as we get closer to this fight. But those are my initial thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. It's Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Appreciate y'all for being real, being solid. If you're new to the channel, subscribe up and let me know what y'all think about Canelo fighting Jermell Charlo.